A home bought in the Twin Cities in 2015 for $300,000 is worth nearly $270,000 more today. I ranked 7 of the most popular suburbs around Minneapolis based on appreciation. The #1 suburb on the list is the one most buyers never even considered. So I've helped over 3,700 families buy and sell across this metro area. I pulled real close sales data, zip code by zip code, to find out where the real gains were actually made. So the dollar countdown, let's go from 7 to #1. Here's how I'm going to do this. Going from the smallest dollar gain to the largest, counting from 7 to 1. The full 10-year picture. Every single stop on this list made homeowners real money. So let's start at the bottom. I think you'll be surprised by what the bottom actually looks like. #7 is Minneapolis Citywide. From $230,000 in 2015 to $315,000 in 2025. That's an $85,000 gain, believe it or not. A monthly equivalent of about $700. And here's the thing. Minneapolis underperformed relative to every suburb on this list. A lot of that reflects buyers who chose space, land, and newer construction outside of the city limits. The citywide number also masks pockets inside Minneapolis that were actually much stronger. But even so, $85,000 over a decade on a home you are already living in? That's not a bad outcome, but don't go anywhere. The takeaway for 2026 buyers shifts depending on which of these numbers you actually care about. So #6 tells a different story about what an affordable entry point can actually do for you. So let's talk about Bloomington. Bloomington had the cheapest entry point on this entire list back in 2015 at $200,000. By 2025, it's climbed to almost $345,000. That's $145,000 in gains. About $1,217 a month in appreciation. So, do you guys know actually what drove that? Well, there's a couple things. Mall of America is right here, and the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport is minutes away. Employment density in that corridor is one of the strongest in the entire metro area, so there's a lot of jobs. And demand here never lets up. #5 is right behind it. Almost the same price point, but totally different reasons. #5, Burnsville, Minnesota in the South Metro here. We've gone from $220,000 in 2015 to $370,000 in 2025. That's $150,000 in gains, or about $1,260 a month. It sits right at the split between 35W and 35E. You've got access to both Minneapolis and St. Paul without sacrificing drivability to either. Buyers who got priced out of closer in suburbs landed here and stayed for the most part. It's got consistent demand for over a decade. It's quiet, steady, not really flashy. It's Burnsville, and it's made some people a lot of money. So #4 is very similar. Same South Metro, same lower starting price, slightly bigger gains though. Apple Valley is #4 on our list. We've gone from $225,000 in 2015 to $380,000 in 2025. That's $155,000 in appreciation in a decade. About $1,292 every single month. So what makes this one work? Well, it had an affordable entry point in 2015. Solid retail corridor, well-maintained parks, real sustained buyer demand from start to finish is what you get in Apple Valley. It's one of those suburbs that just kept moving forward. No big headlines, just consistent gains over the last 10 years. Now we'll shift to a different kind of suburb. The reason buyers paid more here has nothing to do with highways or retail. Let's talk about Prior Lake, which is #3 on our list. This is where price points start climbing. Prior Lake came in at $300,000 back in 2015. By 2025, believe it or not, we're sitting at $500,000. You can do the math. It's pretty simple. It's a $200,000 in total gains, about $1,650 a month. So here's the thing about Prior Lake. People buy there for the water, the lake lifestyle, being close to nature, and the feeling of being somewhere that doesn't look or act like every other suburb. That draw never faded. Not in a good year, not in a slow one. Buyers kept coming, and the numbers show it. The gap between number 2 and number 1 was bigger than I expected when I pulled the data here. So do yourself a favor and don't skip ahead. Number 2 is my hometown of Lakeville, Minnesota. I grew up in Lakeville. My parents actually still live there. The median home price in 2015 was $315,000, and it was the highest starting point of this entire group. By 2025, it grew to $520,000. So that's $205,000 in appreciation, or about $1,700 a month in a home where people were just living their lives. Lakeville was still being actively built out during that whole entire period, and it's continuing to be built out currently. So new construction, new neighborhoods, and long-term demand baked in from the very start. So this one is close to my heart, and the numbers back it up too. Now, the top of the list. This is one that nobody saw coming, including myself. Number 1 was Dayton, Minnesota. Back in 2015, the median was $300,000. By 2025, believe it or not, it had reached $570,000. That's $270,000 in appreciation over the decade. About $2,250 a month. So what happened to Dayton? Dayton had development expansion, major infrastructure investment, and real room for new construction in a metro that was running out of it everywhere else. The place was not on most people's radar back in 2015. The data makes it impossible, though, for many to ignore right now. So that's the dollar countdown. When you flip these same areas to a percentage gain, the suburb that won in dollars almost drops to the bottom of this list. But that's what we're going to get into next. First, if you're researching the Twin Cities and trying to figure out which of these areas fits your budget and timeline, that's exactly what my team and I do every day. We work with people that are relocating in this market every single day. Our contact information is in the description right down below. Do us a favor too. Smash that like button and hit that subscribe button so that we can get videos out to people just like yourselves. Okay, well, let's keep going. So the percentage ranking, same 7 areas, same 10 years. Now we're rethinking by percentage gain, not total dollars. So the order shifts. Minneapolis is still last at about 37%. That gap from other suburbs only gets wider when you look at it this way. Lakeville, which came in at number 2 by dollars, drops to near the bottom in percentage at about 65%. Lakeville had the highest starting price in the whole entire group. So that ceiling limited how far the percentage could actually run, even though the raw dollar gain was real for sure. Prior Lake slots in right behind it at 66%. Same dynamic. Higher starting price meant less room to multiply. Then Apple Valley and Burnsville both land in at 69%. Both started under $230,000 in 2015 and both cracked nearly 69% in gains. That's where you start to see the pattern. Next, Bloomington comes in at 73%. It was the cheapest entry point on the entire list at $200,000. And believe it or not, Dayton is still number 1 at about 90%, nearly doubling. So here's what I'm seeing. 3 of the top 4 performers by percentage started under $230,000 in 2015. The cheaper suburbs dominated. Buyers who stretched for higher priced areas got larger dollar gains. Buyers who came in at the lower end saw their equity grow faster in percentage terms. So if you had a $200,000 budget in 2015 and bought in Bloomington, well, you outperformed almost every higher priced suburb in percentage terms. Believe it or not, that's fantastic. And the market rewarded your purchase. In this metro, picking the perfect suburb made a whole lot less difference than simply deciding to buy willy-nilly. So, what does that mean for someone who's buying today? That's what I'm going to get into right now. So, what this tells 2026 buyers. So, 7 areas, 10 years of data. Not one of these particular suburbs went backwards. The market didn't reward the people who researched endlessly and tried to time the bottom of the market. The ones who did well were frankly the ones that just committed and bought a home. A lot of people ask me this: which suburb is going to be the best performer over the next decade? Well, here's the thing. They all did well over the last one. The question was never which suburb wins. It was always about finding a place that fits your life. So if you match your budget to the right suburb, find the lifestyle that makes sense, then you should probably hit that buy button. That's the framework. If it worked in 2015, the data says it holds for 2026. So in conclusion, 7 suburbs, 10 years. Not a single one of them went backwards. If you're researching this market and want to know which suburb makes the most sense for your budget and timeline, email us at team@hhgus.com. My team and I work with people relocating to the Twin Cities, buyers and sellers, every single week. We'll get you pointed in the right direction fast. So if you know which area fits inside your budget, but don't know what specific suburb inside that area is actually the right fit, that's exactly what the video linked on the screen right here is going to solve for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video and at the next house.